Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of the Diverse Dialogues podcast. I'm Mateo.
And I'm Ruben.
And we're back on the video game trends, as almost we always are with these podcasts most of the time. And for today's episode, we are talking about childhood video games, or just games that we have played in our childhood, that we grew up with, that we loved, or maybe even hated at one point. But for the most part, these are the games that we at least could mostly remember playing back in the day. And for the most part, I don't remember much, but this guy right here is probably going to carry the podcast again, so.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And obviously, since this is not a topic that we have not done before, it's now one of those cases where we're going to skip the questions, and we're just going to go straight over to the activities. So, Ruben, take it away.
Okay, so this is going to be similar to the YouTube podcast, where one by one we'll talk about, or we'll go back and forth talking about one video game. We'll just briefly talk about it, as well as our current opinions on the game, if any. And yeah, it's basically that. We'll just go back and forth.
Now, thing is, both of us did different lists on how we did it, because for the life of me, I could not figure out in order of the games I played. So I did it by the game console or the game device that it was used in the order of where I got it. So that's how I did it. But Ruben, on the other hand,
I did mine's in chronological order. So I started with like the very first video game I ever played up to the last game before I became a teenager, which that's the limit we're at. Okay. Once you're a teenager, then we stop. Okay. Because if we were to do favorite games like in our lives, we would be here for like centuries.
Yeah. And for clarification, 13 or 2016 at that around that ranging point, just before 2017, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess since my list is technically shorter, I guess I'll just get mine out of the way, and then we'll let him just run his course. So I will start off with, so the very first console I ever got was the Wii. Yes, I was early 2000s kids. We were pretty much like stuck with the Wii or with your parents' video game consoles, but I started off with the Wii. And some of them I'll just briefly go by because, duh, it's pretty evident as to why these would be in this list. So first off, Wii Sports. I don't think a single 2000s kid has not played Wii Sports at any point in their life. So if you probably would have had at least a friend who had it, mm-hmm. and you would have a blast playing it.
Mm-hmm. Or just any family member.
Exactly. So, but about that game, it was super fun. Despite, the Wii being the Wii, it was a lot of fun. You got your tennis, you got your boxing, which was very fun to just, how many of you had flung your Wii remote across the room and broke something? Oddly enough, it has not happened to me.
I'll get to mine eventually.
Oh God.
Wii Sports.
And,
just continue.
Shoot. Let's see.
And is that it for Wii Sports?
Yeah, only those two games. No, just kidding. We also play a lot of golf. You get all the just bowling, everything. But yeah, it was definitely a very big moment honestly, for a lot of people in the early 2000s. But for me personally, it was also a lot of fun. Then moving on to the other Wii game, Wii Fit. That one with like the board that if you were just slightly overweight, probably would have just crashed and been destroyed. We did not run into that issue, but
it would call you morbidly obese.
Too heavy. But that was pretty fun too. It was a bit more difficult because, of course, it was literally just a board that you had to stand on, and on top of that, if you got mad, then that thing probably got that thing had probably been through a lot of abuse. So, what was the games I remember the most? I think there was like a dojo one. There was I think there was definitely a snowboarding one.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there was the exercising ones. Oh crap! It's been a minute since I don't even know if we even have the board still around my house. But for the most part, another great game, and but definitely not as fun as the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Wii Sports. Next, moving on to actually some franchises now. Mario Kart. Specifically, of course, Mario Kart Wii. So, again, another the fuck. No, sorry, fucking fly just like rammed himself into the window. Of course, Mario Kart Wii. Who has not played this? I mean, seriously. I mean, honestly, funny thing, my dad can't ever play this game ever again because it gets him motion sickness, so he can't.
Okay.
But man, this was my first ever Mario Kart game. No big shock, and it had. Of course, I played Mario almost all the time because I'm just, and there was a lot of rage, there was a lot of fun, and of course there was a lot of confusion. Because when you're first playing the game, you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? What is going on? I can't remember any specifically funny memories with Mario Kart Wii, but all I remember was that it was fun. And of course, Jordan being Jordan, he would always be the one that actually would be, better than everybody in the room. So
I thought you were about to say he just complains at everything.
That too. So,
okay. By the way, we're doing this back and forth,
Oh, I thought I was going to go through all my lists and then...
No, we're doing it back and forth.
Oh,
like the YouTuber one.
Okay, alright, whatever. Well, okay, I go through all my Wii things and then Mario Kart. Okay, so now you can...
Okay. Alright, so the very first video game I ever played was Pac-Man World 2.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the very first video game I ever played on the original Xbox, okay? I don't even remember the release date of that thing. But yeah, that's the first console I ever played was the original Xbox. Pac-Man World 2, it was basically a platformer, honestly, with like the typical Pac-Man maze shit here and there. Of course, you collect the pellets here and there. And yeah, it was the first video game I ever played. Obviously, I don't remember much from it.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, because you took 2 slots.
Yeah, you go ahead. You just go with 2 more slots.
Okay. Next up, Super Smash Bros. Melee. So from the original Xbox, we now have the GameCube. Okay, I played this at my grandma's house on my uncle's GameCube. Yeah, Super Smash Bros. Melee. I guess somehow I just knew all these characters. I just somehow knew Mario and fucking Pikachu. No, I guess it's because you see them in stores everywhere. But yeah, very fun game. And weirdly enough, the character that I was most drawn to, I was like, I want to play as that character, was Mr. Game & Watch.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was freaking Mr. Game & Watch of all characters. But yeah, had some fun memories with some family. I went from playing as Mr. Game & Watch to playing as Roy.
I guess that's a good just jump.
Yeah, to fucking Roy. I guess for the third slot because he went overboard. This one, I doubt a single person on this podcast is gonna get. This is a computer game called Rumble Fighter.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's basically how do I compare? I guess you can compare it to Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. How you can move around and beat people up.
Okay, yeah. I just looked it up. I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, this is some computer game. A bunch of people in my family played for whatever reason. But yeah, I'd compare it to Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, where you can run around and beat people up. It's a multiplayer game. And oddly enough, I remember the campaigns of that game where you beat up freaking you beat up ogres of all things.
Okay.
So naturally my mind went to Shrek. But yeah, it was a fun fighting game. And oddly enough, I did play Mortal Kombat Deception around this time, but I didn't make any comparisons, and I wasn't into Mortal Kombat that much at the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my bad. I did not realize that we were going to go do back and forth of that. I was going to go through all my list and then his there, so my bad on that. Mm-hmm. I do want to point out, speaking of computer games, there is, of course, when you're at school, you would go to the computer lab and play a bunch of games on there. I, for the life of me, cannot remember any of them other than one that was a game that had mini games inside of it that was in a futuristic setting. Again, I cannot remind me of it, but it had similar graphics as Baldi, so there's that. But next up on the Wii is Donkey Kong Country Returns. Dashi's greatest best friend. I had a lot of great memories about this when I was not raging. And the funniest memory I can share about this one, I don't remember if I ever shared it with, I think I at least shared it with you and some of the other members, but of course, me being me and getting super frustrated because I could not get past the levels later on, what did I end up doing? Even the game was like, hey, you want to have the AI just do the level for you? And that's exactly what I did. I let the AI just go through the entire game. And for some reason, it still counted as me beating the game.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that's literally about it. That's literally just all I had with Donkey Kong Country Returns. A great game, and honestly, a game, if I can maybe get an emulator, I would probably go back and try to see if I can play it again, just so that I can actually beat it this time. But, yeah, thanks AI.
Yeah. Back when AI was good.
Oh, yeah.
Also, funny thing, before I move on to mine, here's a little funny thing. I remember Landon was here one day, and he was, we were all playing on the Wii, and he was playing Donkey Kong Country Returns, and he said he wanted to do a speed run of that game, so I pulled out my the timer on my phone, and bro just died like 3 times in the first level, and he just gave up on the speed run already.
Sounds like Landon.
All right, now for my another computer game, I have Toontown. Yeah, it's a... I don't even know how to describe the game. I guess you can say it's basically an RPG. Well, yeah, turn-based RPG. You're playing as Toons or freaking the original Animal Crossing.
Bruh.
You play as animal people, and you're in a turn-based RPG with robots, of all things. Other than the turn-based RPG, there's also like the free roam shit. You can fish, you can play mini games, you can freaking have a pet jelly bean. Yes, a pet jelly bean. And yeah, back to original Animal Crossing, you decorate your house and your hometown and all that shit. As a kid, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing in that game, so I went up to a robot and I just fought it. I ran out of move sets and then I died. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And then when I played the game older, I was like, oh, that's what I was supposed to do.
That's how I am with Pokemon.
Okay. But yeah.
Which we'll get into eventually. Now we're going into the Sonic era of my life. Because you're going to notice that Sonic and 2 other franchises are going to be very popular in this list of mine. Starting off with Sonic and the Black Knight. Of course, this game gets shit on relentlessly because it was a game on the Wii, and also it was a Sonic game, and also it was in a completely different era that was definitely in the... it was the storybook era that people love to trash on, but as a kid, of course, I remember liking this game, probably because I would only ever get so far into the game, then restart and just go back to the beginning because I just like seeing the cutscenes. That was me with video games for the majority of my life, just watching the cutscenes over and over and over again. I might as well just be watching movies at that point. And I don't remember how far I actually got, but I definitely did not get like all the way over there. And then, I would then go to watch YouTube videos on what would actually happen, and of course, my mind was fucking blown. And other thing I want to add, I think I said it before, but Sonic and the Black Knight probably has one of the most kick-ass soundtracks in any video game I've ever played. And I think it's pretty warranted to say that.
Alright. Next up, I have a 2-in-1 special. Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario World. And yes, I'm talking about, like, the old games, like, on the NES and SNES. The reason why I have this in 2-in-1 is because it's part of the Wii... I forgot what it's called, like, the Virtua console or something like that, where basically you can play old games on the Wii. So yeah, Super Mario Bros., the original one from like the 1980s or something. Yeah, I had fond memories of that, of all things. But mainly Super Mario World from the Super Nintendo. That one I had like most fond memories of. I remember that game like being really challenging, but like I still play it every day. Well, not every day, but I do remember like elementary school weekends. That's the one thing I would like focus on the most, Super Mario World.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really say much about this since, it's a freaking game from the last century. But yeah.
Okay, since he's... You know what? I might as well just say all the Sonic games just because they're all like right there because there's only 2 more. And I technically bought all of these games around the exact same time frame. So, because my dad was like, hey, you like Sonic, right? Here, we'll just buy some Sonic games for you. So Sonic and the Black Knight. Then there is Sonic Unleashed, which is the more popular one compared to the to Black Knight, and then of course Sacred Rings, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Unleashed, again, same situation. I would only play the game for like a little bit and then just restart and just watch the cutscene over and over and over again. So, and also fun fact, I was like 6 years old when when I first got this game, and I did not realize that I was going to be witnessing a transformation scene from him turning into a werewolf. So I cried when that happened, and I think that actually scarred me for like anything involving like transformations. I cringe actually.
Okay.
So I think I legitimately have like not like a phobia, but just like a traumatization, PTSD of anything that involves transformation. Oh no, it was also the SpongeBob him turning into a snail. That also fucking triggered that, like, just complete, like, God, I can't fucking, I hate it. But then there's Sonic and the Sacred Rings, which I remember, no, I did not beat that either, but, again, that had the infamous motion controls, and if you want to talk about frustration, there it is. I think I remember Jordan even getting, like, extremely pissed off at that one when he was a kid, so... So what's new, right?
Zero character development.
Hold on a second. But yeah, those are the Sonic games from the Wii. I just remembered another game.
I mean, you can just say it, you don't have to type it.
Mario and Sonic and the Olympic Games.
Ah.
I remember that. Oh my god, I can't believe... Of course, the minute I stopped talking about it, that's when I remembered it. But, yeah, I remember that game was fun. I think, honestly, there's not much to say because it's just the exact same thing. It's just like, not like the Sonic games, but just like, I would just get frustrated and then never play the game ever again. But like, it would, like, when it came to like being with around other friends and family members, that was what made it fun. So, yeah.
All right. Next up, I can now talk about Wii Sports. Like he said, who hasn't played Wii Sports? If you haven't, I'm just going to assume you're not living the best life. But other than that, it's fucking Wii Sports. The game I remember most playing was bowling. Yeah, I think that. Other than that, it'd probably be golf, then baseball, and then tennis, and then boxing. Yeah, I think boxing was the one I played the least for some reason. Now, here's my funny story with Wii Sports. I remember I was playing with my cousin one day, and we're playing baseball. I was the batter, and I was okay. So my setup, there's a dresser in front of me, right, with a Wii right on top of it. I'm playing as the batter, and I fucking swing at the Wii, and somehow it was still working. Now, obviously, Wii Sports is not perfect. Most people don't know this. It's a tech demo, okay? That's why the game is limited, okay? It's a tech demo. That's why there's no online. But also, this isn't just Wii Sports. This is just the Wii's motion controls. I remember when I was playing tennis, of course, I was swinging it, being like, wow, I'm actually, like, swinging with all my might. And then, like, I went to, like, pick up a drink or something. I came back. My Wii remote's just tilted. My character's moving. And I was like, wait, I could just flick my wrist? And then that's what...
Flick my wrist?
Yeah. And I was like, wait, I could just do that? And then that's when the magic disappears. I think that's the canon event for everyone who played on the Wii. You realize you don't have to put in your actual might. You can literally sit on your couch and play Wii Sports.
Damn. I don't think I came to that realization, but I think I came to that realization, like, by the time I stopped playing the Wii, so I guess that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, do you ever do the Wii Fit, or no?
No, I didn't play Wii Fit.
Okay, alright. Next up... Okay, here's my joke answer of the day. Some sort of party game with mini games.
Some sort of party...
I cannot remember the name of it. It was like Super Party, like birthday celebration, birthday bash, whatever the hell it was called. But it was like a Mario Party situation where like it was like a bunch of birthday related games, and then like a game for a lot of mini games, basically, just one of those type of games.
Okay, when we're on the topic of Wii, I thought you were talking about like some Wii party game or something. I was like, Wii party, but then the moment you said birthday, so I was like, okay, I have no idea what you're
No, this was definitely not a Wii. Like it was a Wii game, but it was definitely not from Nintendo or Wii. So
okay,
But yeah, it was like I only remember that because my dad liked to play that a lot for whatever reason, and I was just like, okay, it's fine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I just could not remember the name for it. So yeah, that's my new canon name for it. Some sort of party game with mini games.
Okay. All right, next up, Mario Kart Wii. He just talked about it earlier. I'll have to talk about Mario Kart Wii though. I remember first playing it, I had no idea what to do, so my character was just like tilting to the right the entire game. I had no idea what I was doing. Uh, and yeah, I don't really have to talk about Mario Kart Wii that much, to be honest. Yeah.
All right, next up. Now my turn to talk about Super Smash Bros. But instead, I started at Brawl, and I was introduced to Smash Bros. From a friend when I was visiting him at Tennessee. This friend of mine, actually, we'll talk about him eventually in another game too. But he was a friend of mine that I met back in elementary school, and then they had to move. So they moved to Tennessee, and he introduced me to not only like gameplay of Pokemon X, which we'll get into, but also introducing me to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And I remember looking at that, and both me and my dad were like, "Oh, this is super cool! Like, it's a bunch of characters that from different franchises battling each other." So it was like, "All right, this seems pretty awesome." And then when we got back home, we bought that game immediately. And for whatever reason, even though I never played Fire Emblem, Ike was my main. and again, and just a bit of a side note, still has the like. I don't know what the fuck they did to him in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but he sounds fucking weak as fuck with his Ultimate voice line.
Great Ether!
But back then, Great Ether! Fucking,
yeah.
Like, bro, like, he fucking, like, went in, and also just, like, the hits, too? Like, the way the hits back then, oh, God, they were, just ear candy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I started off at Brawl, of course, the most hated one. Honestly, all of the games that I started off with are probably the most hated generations of them, which we'll get into when I get to the DS games. But I don't care. I liked it, and a lot of my favorite, and also it was a game that had Sonic in it, so of course I was like, oh yes, I'll definitely get that game.
Yeah. My voice correct. All right, next up, I have Castle Crashers. Now, some of you might be wondering, wait, Castle Crashers? I just started playing that game like a few years ago. That game came out in 2008, all right? I don't know why everyone's just all of a sudden playing it. And no, I'm not bringing up the DLC, which, yeah, that is technically new. For whatever reason, everyone's getting into it like 4 years ago, even though that game came out like before most of you were even born. Or around the time, whatever. Anyways, Castle Crashers. I briefly talked about this in the video game, or the freaking, the genre one. Yeah, it's a great game. I love beating the game as this character, unlocking this guy, and then beating the game as this character. Obviously, it does get repetitive, I will admit that. And it does get kind of repetitive when you're just doing the same combos over and over again. But either way, it's still fun to just go back to the game every, like, year or something. Even if you don't have friends or family, or I don't know, you're just playing with AI, it's still fun. Still fun playing solo. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Castle Crashers.
Alright, and for my last one on the Wii, I mean, at least in my memory, because I'm pretty sure there's many, many Wii games that I have played that I just don't remember right at the moment, but this is a big one. Skylanders. So, I will bring it up as well again later on to a different console, but we'll get into that in a minute. But the first ever Skylanders game I ever played was Skylanders Giants. Yes, again, I started late because there was Spyro's Adventure. I never knew about it, and I only was introduced to Giants because a friend of mine had it on his at his house, and we were playing it almost all the time. And my dad, of course, was just like, "All right, cool, we could probably check this out as well," because I, of course, was like, I fell in love with it immediately. And of course, one of those games where I was like, it was way ahead of its time because of the technology you were able to use with it. But now, of course, like the topic of if it even is going to come back, which I mean, honestly, give Gen Z a new game give Gen Z and Gen Alpha some fucking banger of a game to come back, bro. Please, they need it. They need to experience a good game. But yes, I started off with Giants, and I did collect all of the Giants figures, and yeah. it was a very, very great game in my opinion, and honestly, a pretty good introduction to this to the franchise. I don't think you necessarily need to start off with Spyro's Adventure, but Giants is a good one too. I mean, both are good. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I know Jordan played Spyro's Adventure, so yeah, if I ever want to get any information, I would just have to go to him about that. But again, I only started off with Giants, so I can't get any information about Spyro's Adventure. And then I also put Slash Swap Force, which was the other game. And this is also at the time period where I swapped from the Wii to the Xbox 360.
Swap Force?
Yeah, swapped from that to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I also put it down in my Xbox 360 list because I played it a little bit on the Wii, but then I swapped over to the Xbox 360, and immediately I was like, oh my god, the graphics are so much better. What am I doing with my life? And then and from there on, I got hooked on the Xbox immediately. So yeah, and oddly enough, it was supposed to be the Xbox 360 was supposed to be a Valentine's Day gift from my mom, from my dad.
Okay.
I don't know what he was thinking, but then he just gave it to me because I guess he just realized, what the fuck am I doing?
Okay.
But that's it for the Wii ones. But then I'm gonna go over to the DS once he's done with this.
Oh, funny you bring up DS because the next one I have is Mario Kart DS. Yeah, I have fond memories of Mario Kart DS. Obviously I play this one more than the Wii version, just simply because I could take the game anywhere I go. I think Dry Bones was in that game. Of course, he was my favorite character for whatever reason. And here's what makes Mario Kart DS great, right? Here's something no other Mario Kart game has. Mission mode. That was the thing I was most drawn to with Mario Kart DS is mission mode. And in mission mode are the bosses. And those are the memories I have the most of Mario Kart DS, is beating the bosses.
A boss in a racing game?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Knowing Nintendo, they're never going to bring that back. And of course, we don't see mission mode in like any other Mario Kart title ever. But yeah, that's Mario Kart DS.
So now moving on to the DS. Now, even though I put the DS after the Wii, it was basically around the, like, I got the Wii and then like I got the DS not that long after. So this is basically like coalesces with each other. So like around the same time frame. So, and the first ever DS game I ever got was Pokemon Black version. At the time, I think I at least maybe knew a little bit of Pokemon, but not that much. So I was going to this basically completely blind, just being like, oh yeah, I never knew, but I know of the franchise. I just didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into. And then, I looked at Reshiram on the cover. I remember and oddly enough, I got this game at a local game store and not GameStop or anywhere else. Literally at my local game store, because I looked at it, I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. And my dad's like, do you know what this game is about? No. All right. And this is still to this day one of my favorite Pokemon games, and the game that obviously made me hooked onto it. There's so much to talk about, and of course, the one funny thing I could talk about was that I definitely played it wrong. I mean, obviously, I knew about attacking moves, but of course, I didn't know what the stat changing moves were. I didn't understand what those were about. I didn't know anything about natures or anything like the nerdy stuff of Pokemon. All I knew was that only use the attacking moves, and that's it. And then, of course, there was the status effects and everything, but. And then having funny memories of me, like, getting so mad of trying to find a specific Pokemon that I would literally yell at my DS for the specific Pokemon, thinking that was going to do anything. Just like, Sandile! Like, just like, bro, give me Sandile! Okay, bro, like, chill.
Bro's angry grandpa from the Flappy Bird video.
And of course, the big thing, I didn't read a single ounce of the dialogue, so I, of course, got lost way easily. I would be aimlessly roaming around for basically probably like 30 minutes to an hour and then just giving up, then finally figuring out, oh, I have to go here. So I basically went through this completely wrong, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I still had fun and I still beat the game. So, yeah, I did beat the game and I was really happy about that. So, but But of course, I used a lot of potions and I restarted a lot because I did not know what the hell I was doing. But yeah, I'm glad I started off with Pokemon Black because it probably has one of the best stories and honestly, way better looking Pokemon than fucking Gen 1. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah. All right, next up, I have Pack and Roll. It is a Pac-Man game where Pac-Man is a sphere, like an actual ball, and it's a platformer. It's a DS game, and you use the touch screen to roll Pac-Man around. It's like I said, it's a platformer. I remember having that game is like pretty difficult. I had very fond memories of it, even though the game is like really short. And I do mean really short. There's only like 5 worlds, each with like 5 levels. So yeah, it's literally just 25 levels.
Cool.
I actually can't really say much about Pack and Roll. Yeah, it was just a challenging yet fun game, I guess.
All right, next up is Sonic Colors DS. Why did I get Sonic Colors on the DS? I don't know. I had the option from my dad, hey, you want to get it on the Wii or the DS? And for some reason, I chose the DS. I guess every kid has done that, stupid decision making at some point in their life. But the best part about that was the laser thing, because I loved the little music chime that it had every time that you used it. So
The laser beam in the sky?
No.
Laser.
But that game was really fun. I think I did get to the end on this one. Thank God, Mateo. You're not, just a one-trick pony, which is being, just going to just restarting every time. I think I did, but I did get to the end of the game. And of course, I had a hard time beating the last one. And you know what the fucking last level was? What, besides just the boss game? Mashing the button. And I remember this because I had a hard time doing it, even though I thought I was doing good with it. And of course, Jordan then does it first try. He took the DS from me, and then he did it first try.
Okay.
Yeah, moving on.
All right, next up. Okay, the game title here is called Breaking the Bank, but the franchise is Henry Stickmin. And you're probably going to say, wait, Henry Stickmin, didn't that game came out like in 2020? That was a Flash game in 2008. So, yeah. Literally all it is, you pick an item and then you see Henry either die or succeed or something. That's literally the entire franchise. Breaking the Bank, it's literally just one thing. You put on a bag and then you beat the game. That's it. But then every game afterwards, it's like, you pick this, okay, you succeeded. Now you have another choice to make. Now you do this. So, yeah. It was really fun Flash game, even though all you do is just click an item and then use it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that game's existed like for a long ass time. Okay.
Next up for me is the sequel to Pokemon Black version 2. And here's a fun memory. I remember I was hyped because I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, I cannot wait to play this. And coincidentally, my friend that I mentioned earlier that moved to Tennessee came here to visit. Back to California to visit, and at that time, of course, he showed up but around the time the game came out. So he went to the same store that I got Pokemon Black version, and I got Pokemon Black version, and he got Pokemon White version too. So, but yeah, it was super. I will never forget that memory because it was so fun, like actually getting a game with someone. I think that was the first time I ever bought a game with, my family bought the game, but the first time I ever had an experience getting a game with a friend when it just came out. I thought that was pretty awesome. And of course, the game itself basically is meant to be an improvement, but honestly, I feel like both of them are tied for like my favorite Pokemon game, maybe. I love both of those games, and I had great memories. Again, same issue. Didn't read the dialogue, and also I'm screaming at the thing, trying to find that Riolu for the past, like 30 minutes trying to find it because it's a very rare encounter. But whatever, it's fine. I love both of those games, and I hope to God they don't ever make a remake. Because I hope they don't remake it. And even though I wanted a third version of Pokemon Black, Red, and White version, well, how they're making Pokemon games nowadays, at this point, I would rather just them not do it at all.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Next up, I have Super Mario Galaxy 2. This was similar to the Virtual Console thing on the Wii. This was another game I used to play a lot during the weekends. And for whatever reason, I got super used to the controls, like in that game of all things. It's like, oh, you press this to ground pound. Oh, you do this to freaking twirl in the air. Oh, you do this to freaking roll like a bowling ball. This is one of my favorite Mario games of all time. Like, I don't even think a modern Mario title could beat it. No, not really. But yeah, lots of fond memories of this game. And I don't even remember if I beat it because the game is that long. But yeah.
Alrighty, so next up, I'm gonna include all these three in one, even though they're all completely different games. These are the three DS games that I remembered playing, but definitely did not like stay playing. Because the first, well, mainly for Pokemon, I guess okay, let me rephrase that. Black 2 and White 2 were the only games I actually play, even to this day. Sonic Colors, I stopped playing back in the day, like many, many moons ago. But these next three games are basically the same thing with Sonic Colors, where I basically stopped playing after like a little while. Sonic Rush on the DS, where it was the game where you had a choice between Sonic and then, for whatever reason, Blaze of all characters. I don't know why, but you just basically either chose Sonic or Blaze. I did both. Didn't really make any difference. It was fun, yeah, but I honestly would probably want to just go back and see if I can, try to beat the game actually. Then there is Kirby Mass Attack. I had to do some research to make sure that this was the right one because I remember playing a Kirby game, and there's not much I can remember. Honestly, a lot of these, you know what? Let me rephrase it again. These are the games I remember playing, but also don't remember playing at the exact same time, like fully in depth. But yeah, I think it was this game. And then the last one on the DS was New Super Mario Bros. Because this guy had to help me figure out which game it was, because of course it was the one that introduced the big shroom that you just basically just plow your way through the level.
It's Super Mario Bros., but it's new.
Yeah.
Even though the game came out years ago, it's not new anymore.
But I think, this was, other than the other, I think that, this was probably the only Mario game I played on the DS. But of course, there's probably many more DS games I have played, I just don't remember. But those are the ones I remember at least the most, so.
Alright, next up, now I can finally talk about Sonic Unleashed. Specifically, the Xbox 360 version, because the Xbox and Wii version are like two separate games for some reason. And when I saw like Wii footage, I was like, damn, they didn't experience the beauty of hub worlds in every country. But yeah, Sonic Unleashed was great. I actually enjoy the nighttime levels. I know a lot of people don't. I actually enjoy them. I love the platforming segments in the nighttime levels. I love the bosses in the nighttime levels. The only thing I don't like about the nighttime levels is that stupid ass battle music every time you encounter. Yes, I freaking hate that every time you encounter an enemy, bro.
Bring out the jazz band.
But yeah, Sonic Unleashed was great.
and it sucked too because it happened frequently. You just get done with it, and then like 2 seconds later, it would happen again.
Although one thing I do freaking despise is Eggman Land, because it's just one continuous level. You die at the very end, you have to go all the way back.
Oh, maybe that's where Geometry Dash got their inspiration from. Which we'll definitely get into in a minute.
But yeah, that's it.
So that's it for the DS games. Now moving on to Wii U. Smash 4. That's it, because I did not own the Wii U. I just remember playing it from other people. And here's a funny story about the Smash 4. I remember I played it with Jordan. I don't remember if he had the Wii U specifically, or if he just you know, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember I really wanted to play Greninja. And I remember practicing with a little bit, and I got pretty good. But then he invited me over to this game tournament, and he's told me, play Ike. You're good with Ike. Stick with Ike. And of course, I was like, man, fuck this shit. I'll do with Greninja. And then I got my ass kicked, and I got fucked, and I nearly threw a tantrum because of that.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I sucked. I don't know why he even invited me to a video game tournament, even though I'm fucking like horrible at this shit.
Better than Tom hosting an Overwatch tournament.
Okay.
Anyways, next up, I think this is the only fan game I can include. Super Mario 63. Yeah, Super Mario 63, okay? It's basically Super Mario 64, but it's 2D. Yeah, I know, it defeats the entire point of the game. Even though, that's basically what it is. Platforming segments are fun. It's challenging, and even though it's a fan game, the controls are like very fluid. And of course, me being a kid, I literally thought this was an official game from a Nintendo. And I'm like, damn, it's not just a fan-made game. Either way, it's still great. For a fan-made project, it is too good, in fact. It's better than like most modern Mario game titles. But yeah, very fun Flash game, I suppose. So yeah.
Alrighty. I'll skip over to the iPad because I know for a fact that this is definitely like next up, and it has a lot of the childhood games I used to play back then. So, iPad. I'll just start off with I'm actually gonna go I think I had the list backwards, so I'm gonna start off with Temple Run. I think a lot of people have played this game already, so I'm not gonna talk about it that much. So, honestly, I feel like I can just go through the first three without talking too much about it. So, Temple Run, everyone knows Temple Run. You get the idea. Then Doodle Jump. Did anyone remember that one? And the only reason why I remembered it because I went to a Dave & Buster's that had the arcade version of it. I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot this game even fucking existed. And then Roblox. Now here's the thing. I played Roblox very, very briefly. Like, I was not a Roblox. I did not grow up with it. I did not do that much. But the only thing I remember doing was playing a Pokemon. It was basically just Pokemon, like Gen 1. Like, someone literally took the entirety of the game and put it into Roblox, so. But it was, of course, Robloxified, so it was like, like, it wasn't like a emulator or anything, but yeah, that's the one memory I remember of Roblox back in the day on my iPad.
Funny thing, my next thought's actually Roblox.
Okay, cool.
Now, here's the thing. I actually played Roblox back in 2012, okay? This was before Roblox was even popular, alright? And 2012 Roblox was way different than what it is currently. Okay? Every character was blocky. Everyone, alright? Every game was blocky. Everything. And the game I remember the most on this version of Roblox was just a simple building game. Yeah, that's literally it. And weirdly enough, I remember like building like a nightclub or something. But in the entrance, I put flamethrowers to prevent people to coming into my club. So it's like, what's the point of building all this? But yeah, old Roblox was good. Build to survive the zombies or something like that. Yeah, you just quickly build a shelter to protect yourself from zombies. And yeah, that's it.
All right, now time for a big one. So at this point, next up is Minecraft. And I wrote it down multiple times because Minecraft is different almost on every console, it feels like. But the story about Minecraft for me is that I heard about it, and my first introduction was like, it must have been something like Bed Wars or Spleef, some sort of competitive version of Minecraft in the servers. So I was like, okay, I don't like this type of stuff. and I don't like how, it's, fighting and stuff like that. I'm not into that. And then I saw my friend have it on his iPad, and he showed me what Minecraft actually is. Base level Minecraft, survival and creative. And then he showed me it. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I actually might give this a try. And then I played it, and I think I remember like the first ever building I did for my house. It was all oak wood, no big surprise, and then stone walls all around it to be like, I need to defend myself.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it was the learning experience, and then of course, and then going on to the Xbox 360 edition was when I started to really express my love for building. So and then of course it became my all-time favorite video game. So yeah.
All right, next up, I have GTA 4. Okay, GTA 4.
When?
So let's admit, I was still a dumb little. I don't even know how I get like access to all these now that I think about it. Anyways, GTA 4. Of course, like most people, literally all I do is just steal cars, shoot people, drive around, blow shit up, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like the ragdoll physics in that game is like super funny. Like you could be on a motorcycle and just barely tap a lamppost, your body will just be launched in the freaking stratosphere for some stupid reason. And of course, as a kid, I didn't even know there were missions you could do. And so naturally, I didn't do a single mission in my life. But hey, that didn't stop me from having fun with GTA 4. Yeah, that's it.
All right. And next up for me is, here's another mobile game, Dragonville. So if you don't know what Dragonville is, it's one of those type of games where like you start off with nothing and then you build your way up by upgrading everything, and then you get more and more and more and more and more, and then hoping that you'll get the rare ones. Yeah, I loved this game, and this game has updated so much. Even back, like I don't know why it's still going on, because it's a pretty old game, but I had a lot of fond memories of it, and in fact, I think I still have it on my iPad. Actually, I just have not touched it in a while. So, but this brings back a lot of memories because I actually, I would be so like happy to talk about like the dragons I raised and stuff. Like, oh, this dragon is this dragon is this. To the point where a family friend was like, "Can you just stop talking?" I was so embarrassed. But yeah, no, I love this game. And again, there's not much to talk about it because it's a mobile game, so can't really say much. But I love this game.
All right. Next up, I have Left 4 Dead 2. This is like probably the first zombie game that I played, as well as the first shooter, I guess I could say. But yeah, Left 4 Dead 2 specifically. What's meant? Weirdly enough, I remember playing versus mode a lot, where one person's survivor, the other will occasionally respawn as a mutated zombie or something. I remember playing that a lot. And I would get mad when I'm playing as a zombie and I never become the tank, but when someone else does, they do become the tank. Other than that, campaigns are fun, and like I said, game's still fun even if you don't have freaking friends to play with. It's fun to play solo. And me and Jordan actually played this game like a year ago, and we made the game even better with mods.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes. That's it.
All right, and lastly for the iPad games, again, another situation where there probably was a whole bunch, but these were the ones that stuck with me the most. The last one on the iPad, Geometry Dash, which for whatever reason is a game that we're playing again, like recently, that more people in the group are starting to play again. There's rage. There's fun levels. There's a time where I would like to make my levels of my own. But other than that, there's not much else to talk about other than just. Also, congrats on Jordan for beating Deadlocked. Before Electrodynamics, by the way.
Nah, I'm laughing because he beat it first try on practice mode and then beat it.
I wish I was there to experience it, but it probably will take me like centuries to get that. Actually, speaking of deadlocked, I remember I was in Italy when I got to 65%, and the funny thing was I was like barely really practicing, and I got to 65% on my first, not my first try, but I think I was at like what, like 37% or something, and then I just got to 65% first try without like any issues. So of course I was like freaking out. I died at like the the other laser part where like the chompers will like spew out lasers. That's where I died at. And of course, just fuck every level besides the easy ones. And now I'm at a point where I can literally probably like beat every level first try now. But like up until Stereo Madness to maybe Cycles.
Yeah.
First try. Yeah. So I played it a lot and probably too much.
All right. Next up, this is the only game where I actually have a negative opinion towards as of right now. This being Dead Island. Now, as a kid, of course, you know, you think everything's cool, okay? You're distracted by all the cool shit or whatever.
Colors.
Yes. And also, when I was a kid, this game was, like, genuinely scary, not gonna lie. And even if I watched gameplay of it, I would have nightmares even then. However, as of last year, I bought this game. Or 2 years ago, whatever the fuck. Anyways, I rebought this game, you know, just for nostalgia's sake or whatever, plus it was on sale. And then when I replayed it, I was like, damn, not gonna lie, this game sucks. Cause one of the things, you know, you can grab basically anything as a weapon, even a freaking canoe paddle. And you just whack a zombie, but occasionally it'll break, so you have to use another weapon, whack a zombie. All the quests are literally just go get this item and come back, with the occasional escort quests, which are abysmal because NPCs' behavior are random as fuck. And I don't know, the fucking story, bro. Like, I guess no one wants to escape this island. Yeah, yes, it's on an island, okay? It's not even the world. It's literally just an island. The zombie apocalypse is happening. No one wants to escape for some reason. And they include this one topic I'm not going to include on here. It's disgusting. And I'm like, why the fuck is it even in this game? What purpose does it have? And so when I beat the game, I was like, that's it? Yeah. Yeah, the only negative opinion game I have on here.
Okay, now moving on to the Xbox 360. So on the top of the list, like I said, I started Swap Force, Skylander Swap Force on the Wii, but then it transitioned to the Xbox 360, so I had better graphics, and I got hooked on it ever since. And of course, Minecraft is on here because, you know, this is the beginning of my building era. But next up is a list of games that I'll just briefly talk about because these 3 games that my older brother Zach introduced me to. That being Mortal Kombat 9, Lost Planet, and Ninja Gaiden. I forgot which one it was, but it was a Ninja Gaiden game. Mortal Kombat, it was my first ever introduction to it, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? It's like, oh, okay, and then I kind of got the gist of it, but I didn't get so much into Mortal Kombat up until Mortal Kombat X, which I didn't include in the list because I wasn't sure if I played this before 13. Yeah, and the characters I played the most were Reptile, Sector, because he looked like Iron Man when I first started playing the game. Like, oh, this guy kind of looks like Iron Man. It's like, yeah, he kind of look. And my brother was trying to make it like, yeah, he's kind of like Iron Man. And then Cabal, which is one of the reasons why I made Cabal back in MK11 was because he was in that game. It was like, okay, at least I know one character I can play. Lost Planet. Like I said, I'm just gonna go through these. I didn't really remember that much, other than it was just one of those like, you go into a mech and then you shoot aliens type of game. And then Ninja Gaiden, a ninja game where you have to kill people, you know, that type of shit. So it's like not anything crazy, but it was pretty fun though. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Next up, I have Skyrim. This is a freaking free world fantasy game, which, yeah, like I said in the genres podcast, I wasn't too invested in like the fantasy genre or whatever. But after this, it sort of made me like it more. the game is like freaking humongous. It's an open world game. You can do basically anything you want up until you're trapped in another realm, and then like at that point, just leave the quest. Uh, it's fun to unlock everything. It's fun to learn new spells, and it's especially fun when you mess around with the ragdoll physics. It's absolutely hilarious. Uh, and I still play Skyrim here and there. It's always a fun game. But yeah.
Next up is Real Steel. Now, I forgot to mention that this was also on the iPad, and I played that one first, and I remember, like, of course, getting mad and all that shit. So it's like, a lot of these are just, me memorizing that I got mad way too quickly with video games back in the day. But there was also Real Steel on the 360, which were two completely different games. Mainly for one, you get to customize your own robot in the Xbox 360 version, and then upgrade it over time, and then fight off against characters that were definitely not in the movie because the movie came first. And or I forgot the movie. I forgot either the movie came first or if the I don't know, but either way, both of them on the iPad and the 360, I played a lot, and I remember Jordan was like really trying to. Actually, I wonder if I can actually buy it on the Xbox right now, because it was pretty fun, and but yeah, no, I definitely progressed more with the iPad than the 360, because I think at some point the 360 just got kind of a little bit more difficult. But again, it's one of those games where I don't remember that much since it's been a long time. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, I have the one and only Minecraft. Do I even have to explain anything about Minecraft? No, not much. But I do remember when I first played Minecraft. I remember my first house in survival was an underground bunker, and I still do that to this day.
Damn.
But in creative mode, I claimed that I built a castle, but in reality, it was just a bunch of like buildings fused into one. And one of those buildings was like, I think I tried to make like an armory, but it's basically just a TNT room. Just a room filled with TNT. I remember there was a creeper right next to it. I attacked it, it blew up, and it messed up my entire castle. Or if you can even call that a castle.
That reminds me of an Xbox 360 world that I had that was kind of in the same vein as like Stampy, where it was just like a bunch of random shit in one world. Where, you have like your big ass house, then for whatever reason you have like buildings that were the heads of mobs for whatever reason. Then you have like a house dedicated for animals. Then you have like a pirate ship. And then you have like a redstone house. And then you have like a giant like fucking ender dragon in the sky. We all had that one creative world where it was just a bunch of random ass shit just crammed into one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was a hotel in there as well. It was random as shit. But again, the creativity there, and I wish I would have been able to like get all those back. But man, those were the days, man. I fucking loved Minecraft to the death.
Mm-hmm.
But you did Minecraft, so
yeah.
Now I think the last one are two Lego games: Lego Star Wars and Lego Batman. Who the fuck is Lego Batman and Lego Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to say because I only remember getting only to like a certain point of the game, and I just stopped playing it. But because I only remember actually liking playing these games because back then I was a big Lego freak, so I was, and also a big Hero Factory fan. If you know, you know those. If you know those things, you're awesome. But not really much to talk about, other than some of the bosses were a bit difficult to get through for Lego Batman, and as for Lego Star Wars, I probably remember that one the least because I think I played that one the least compared to Lego Batman. But that's going to be it for all the Xbox 360, then transitioning over to Xbox One.
All right. Anyways, next up I have is Team Fortress 2. I think like the first competitive shooter I can include on here, Team Fortress 2. This was the original hero shooter game. In fact, it's not even a hero shooter game because no one has unique abilities. There's literally only 9 characters, and there's only going to be 9 characters, each with their own freaking guns. Uh, yeah, no powers, just regular mercenaries. Just standard like capture the control point or push the payload. I'm sure y'all used to that. Uh, and unlike most hero shooters, each of the characters are extremely unique. You cannot do what the sniper can do compared to the demo man. Okay, everyone is unique. Okay. Uh, but yeah, I had a lot of fond memories, and weirdly enough, I remember freaking Man versus Machine, which is just a campaign mode where you kill robots. Uh, but yeah, and oddly enough, I got this game like a year ago, or re-downloaded it a year ago just to play it. Yeah, it was fun just to go back to it. I know Tom still plays it to this day.
And speaking of Tom, on the Xbox One, I mean, the first thing I wrote was Minecraft because, like I said, it's different. There was different additions to Minecraft and like all of them. But Overwatch was the next one.
Ah, okay.
Of course, Jordan, and also the same kid that the same guy that I met. Well, I met in elementary school, and the Tennessee guy. He introduced me to Overwatch, and the weird thing is, the very first game I played, I got play of the game.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it was with Genji. And I, of course, did terribly. I don't know if it was because I was just in a lobby filled with horrible people, or I was just early enough to where I was. No, I was definitely not early enough. But yeah, the only memory of it was that I played it a little bit, and then I stopped playing it. And then, of course, it wasn't until Jordan joined the group was when everyone started to play the game again in the group. And then we stopped playing it after Marvel Rivals came out. So there was that. But so I was around when Overwatch was 6v6. So the good old days. But yeah, not really much to. But also another thing that was pretty fun. I did go to an Overwatch gaming tournament with the same kid that I grew up with Skylanders Giants. So that was pretty fun to watch. My first ever video game tournament, and of course, every one of the merchandise being overpriced as shit.
All right. Next up, I have Mortal Kombat 9. Okay. Now, even though, as I previously mentioned, I played Mortal Kombat Deception first, but I wasn't like super into it. However, I played Mortal Kombat 9, and it just got me hooked into it. Like, the characters, and mainly the story. That's the thing that like drove me into like Mortal Kombat the most. But of course, the gameplay was fun. Okay, looking back at it now, it's basically the melee version of Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
But yeah, still fun. Let's admit, yeah, always fun to just fight. And the fatalities. As a kid, they like. The one that only traumatized me was Freddy Krueger, which I guess is kind of reasonable. The freaking pull them to the nightmare world and then fountain of blood.
Oh.
Other than that, the other ones, I just like, oh, okay, for whatever reason. Yes, even Noob Saibot.
Oh yeah, with his fucking like split decision one.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the game that hooked me into Mortal Kombat. I was debating putting X on here, but I wasn't like super into it in my childhood, so yeah.
Now we have all the Skylanders games that I played on the Xbox One. I had to remind myself if Trap Team was on 360 or Xbox One, but yeah. So Skylanders Trap Team, Skylanders Superchargers, and then the last one, Skylanders Imaginators. Skylanders Trap Team was awesome, and the hype for it was pretty big because we were able to use villains to. You can actually play as the villains, and I did beat the game. It was super fun. Superchargers was with the car. And I remember even as a kid, I was like, really? A car? Okay, I guess we're doing this now.
Car.
Wow. And then Imaginators was just their way of saying, fuck it, you do it. Because, of course, that it felt appropriate that of all things was the last game for Skylanders. But Skylanders was a big part of my life, and I love it. And honestly, for the most part, I think it has some of the like coolest gameplay stuff you can ever imagine, and it has like a really special place in my heart. But I kind of wish they did continue the franchise and that they didn't just just say fuck it, we're done. But then honestly, this honestly wraps it up for me. But I do have one little bonus one that I will get into after he does his next one.
Okay. Next up is the first Mario Party game I'm gonna include. Mario Party DS. Yeah, not many people played the DS version. I mean, I know that it's not as popular as like the freaking ones with the cars, which are stupid as hell. But Mario Party DS, I remember this was when I first got my 2DS. Yet weirdly, I bought a DS game, which is okay. Yeah. Either way, it was still fun to play it. And similar to Mario Kart DS, this one has bosses. And of course, they're all great, except Piranha Plant, who gave me fucking nightmares. But yeah, one of the underrated Mario Party titles. And I know a lot of people played it with other people, but I didn't have other people who had a DS at the time. So yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and lastly for me is the 3DS/2DS. So my first ever, I only was able to play the 3DS games because I got a 2DS off eBay, and the only ever games I ever played on the 2DS were, of course, Pokemon games because I was is it at this point it was like I want to get back into Pokemon, and I was able to, and I got Pokemon X, super fun. I got Pokemon Omega Ruby, which was also pretty fun, and I got into Pokemon. I got Pokemon Sun for Christmas, and I remember I played it a lot. And then by that point, I was also super confused because it was a completely different layout than most Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on, it became one of the most boring Pokemon games I ever played. And mainly because I then look at it now, like they were not kidding about the cutscenes in the game. Those things take fucking forever. But yeah, that does wrap it up for me for my whole list. So now it's Ruben taking it away from here, basically.
Yeah, I still have like. I still have 18 more games to talk about.
Jesus. Hey, we're well over the 30-minute mark, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you could basically either speedrun or just do it on your own pace. But that's it for me. I'm gonna rest my voice. Ruben, taking it here from now.
All right. Next up, I have Super Mario 3D Land. Weirdly enough, so this is around the time my uncle had a 3DS, and I was like, "Oh, can I play that?" He's like, "Sure." And I remember playing Super Mario 3D Land most of the time, and the game was really fun. Yeah, and at some point he was like, "Hey, do you want this game? I noticed you play this a lot." I was like, "Okay, sure." So he just gave me that copy. But then Super Mario 3D World came out, and I loved that way more. Next up, I have GTA 5. Okay. Same thing with GTA 4. Again, I just ran around, shoot people, drive cars, all that. However, this time I actually did the missions, okay? And I actually liked the story, and I liked doing heist. So this one is significantly better. We'll just have to wait for GTA 6. Then again, that's never coming out. Next up, Mario Kart 7, okay? I brought up Mario Kart twice already. This one I had a lot more fond memories of. And weirdly enough, Shy Guy was my main in that game. I don't know why, but yeah. I don't even remember much. Oh, this game has my favorite rendition of Rainbow Road, okay? Where you're like temporarily like driving on like the Saturn rings and then you're driving on the moon. It's like hella awesome. Way better than Mario Kart 8's Rainbow Road. Next up, I have Portal 2. It's a puzzle game. You use portals, so it really gets your brain meats going. Even though when I played it when I was a kid, I just looked up YouTube tutorials on how to beat this level because I guess I just couldn't figure it out. I do remember me and my cousin playing the co-op mode, and even though we do struggle from time to time, it was still fun to just mess around. Next up, I have the Lego Movie video game. My cousin had this on his Xbox One, and we both loved the Lego Movie, and we just both love Legos in general. But yeah, this game was really fun. I didn't beat it though. Last time I remembered, I don't even know. But yeah, still a fun game. I think one of the few Lego games I actually enjoyed. Next up, I have Tomodachi Life. Uh, First off, I'm really excited. They're bringing this gem back. And second of all, I st- every now and then, like every few years, I go back to this game and I always restart my run because I usually include people like people I know in real life, and chances are, we don't have the best relationships, so naturally I'd get rid of them. But I remember my first run of Tomodachi Life, I had like 60 villagers. And they would either be real life people I got from the Street Pass, like Me Plaza, uh, random fictional characters, or in one case, Vanos Gaming.
Jesus Christ, bro.
And then I just got to the point I wasn't even creative. They were selling a robot costume in the clothing shop, and I just made a character named Robot. Yeah. Next up, first Pokemon game to include Pokemon Rumble World. Yes, I know I'm extremely late to the party, but I remember playing this one a lot. I didn't know anything about Pokemon, but I still played. It was a free game, that's why I got it. Uh, I guess this is what got me into Pokemon in the first place. But yeah, Pokemon Rumble World. It's fun. Yeah. Next up, I have Spore, and funnily enough, I recently started replaying this like a few weeks ago. Um, Spore is just a game. You start as a microorganism, and then you work your way up to freaking space exploration. I remember like designing creatures in that game, which compared to back then, mine look very tame to what I make now. Next up, finally get to include Five Nights at Freddy's because I basically heard of it when it came out. Y'all know Five Nights at Freddy's. We did a whole podcast about Five Nights at Freddy's. Uh, yeah, it's scary and the lore is interesting. Even though, let's be real, it's just theories. It's not even lore.
I would like to add on FNAF because I did have 1 through 4 on my iPad. And the funny story about FNAF 3, I beat the entirety of the game while I was waiting for my waiting at the doctor's for my appointment. Literally, I beat the entire game with like little to no issue for FNAF 3.
Yeah. Next up, Geometry Dash. Mateo briefly mentioned it. I feel like I don't really have to talk about it. What's the minute? Yeah, I don't really have to talk about that. Next up, I have Terraria. Again, it has nothing similar to Minecraft, okay? It's literally just fucking pixels, okay? But you can say that with every video game in the world. It's fun to get new loot, get new items, fight the bosses. That's the fun part about Terraria is the bosses the most. I know you can build, you can be creative in that game, but because you're losing an entire dimension, you don't have that much freedom to build. Next up, I think this is like the last obscure one I can include. Tower Unite. So the reason I heard of this was because I remember watching the Vanos crew playing some golfing game. It was not Golf with Friends though. It was a game called Tower Unite. I thought that was the golf game everyone was getting into, so I bought that instead.
All right.
Regardless, it was more than just golf. There's like other mini games you can play. And when you play these mini games, you can get points to buy furniture to build your own house or something. So it's more than just golf. So at least that's a good thing. I was wondering why it was $15 when I first bought it. Why are you paying $15 for a golf game?
Side note, cannot wait for Golf with Friends 2, by the way, which is crossplay. So there's definitely going to be a lot of, maybe not a lot of, but definitely some gameplay with the whole group for that.
If any. Anyways. Next up, I have Binding of Isaac. I don't really know how you can like. Honestly, the best comparison I can make is like NES Zelda, where you're going through dungeons and collecting items and beating up enemies. That's the closest comparison I can make. It's still fun to this day, even without the DLC. You know, even if you're playing the regular version, it's still fun. Next up, the first indie game I can include, Undertale. This game was humongous back in like 2016 or something like that. Like most people, I had an Undertale phase. Don't worry, my family didn't know. Yeah, characters are great, music's great. the combat, if you can call it that, is great. But yeah. And finally, because this was the last game before becoming a teenager, and that's the limit we're doing, Pokemon Sun and Moon, okay? Yeah, I know. Everyone has their different opinions on this game. I personally like it. Pokemon are great. I especially love Mimikyu. He's the GOAT. And yeah, I know there's some stupid ones like Delmise and who else? Muku. I know not many people like that one.
Yeah, some of them, maybe not the Pokemon themselves, but the names are weird.
Yeah. I know not many people like the Ultra Beasts. I personally like them. The whole point of them is that they don't look like Pokemon. That's their whole point. They're aliens. And yeah, that's it.
That seems like it's it. All right. And that's wrapping it up for this activity. My God. Yeah. All right, guys, and that's gonna wrap it up for today's podcast. Thing is, for future podcasts, it may get a little wonky. We'll try our best to make sure they're still released on Thursdays, but because of everyone's schedules, especially with mine and all of our schedules are a bit wonky. But for future podcast episodes, it's gonna be a bit wonky. But for the one for the upcoming one or ones, Ruben, take it away.
Okay, so if we have the whole group together in the next one, chances are we'll continue with the main MCU. So we'll do Phase 4 through 6. And if not that, we'll do the Fox Marvel movies as well as the Sony Marvel movies, because I don't think there's that many compared to the main MCU. And if it's not the whole group and it's just me and Mateo as usual, we'll be talking about Cookie Run Kingdom. It's going to be a joke podcast. It's basically the aesthetics one all over again. I'm just going to show Mateo a character, and he's just going to give his opinion on it.
Yeah, cannot wait, even though I pretty much already expressed my opinions on almost all of them, because these two...
Yeah.
Well, him specifically...
Yeah.
Have been addicted to it for whatever reason, and then, it's the same situation where I brought up how stupid they are, and he's like, oh, actually, I didn't really think about that.
Yeah. This time it's going to be documented, though. Yeah.
But on that note, guys, I'm Mateo.
And I'm Ruben.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.